Today is the webinar on youth leadership, on the future of coaching, and I am very excited to be joined by 11 of our young leaders who have graduated from the Coacharya Youth Leadership Programme and have just been amazing. They're inspiring. You're just going to absolutely love this session, I'm sure of it. So to start off, I'm Leah Black, I'm the Youth Programme Lead. I facilitated the Youth Leadership Programme. I'm also a youth coach, mentor, and I am beginning very soon in March to train up youth coaches. So that's adults that want to work with young people as coaches with Coacharya from next month. So do contact me about that as well if you're interested. And I'm going to start off with the young people introducing themselves on our programme. So Amia, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, it's great to be here. I'm Amia, I'm 21 and I'm a climate justice fellow, and I've just started my first job working in the social sector in India. I'm passionate about environmental justice, and my biggest takeaway from the YLP program has been to take into consideration my own values while making decisions that are important to me. And that's what I've realized makes for the most satisfying decision, and that's been my biggest takeaway.
Hi everyone, I'm Niyati. I'm 21 years old and I live in India. I am currently working as a lead technical analyst in Assurance Learning and Education department. Coming to my passions, one of my passions and one of my most core values is revolved around building relationships and doing without expecting. I think I've spoken about this a lot during the program as well. And the satisfaction that I get from doing things and seeing people happy around me, I think it matters a lot to me. And it's sort of the only thing I like getting in return when I do things. And that is also one of my biggest takeaways from the youth leadership program that we had over at Coacharya. I think it's really helped me become a better person, and it's changed my outlook in life. So I was very glad to be a part of that, and that is one of my biggest takeaways from there.
Good day, everyone. My name is Isaac Aluode. I'm 25 years old. I currently work in aerospace on a graduate scheme. I'm based in England. My biggest passion is encouraging others. And two of my biggest takeaways from the YLP is the active use of active listening, especially when coaching others, and also learning from many people from various different cultures. As you can see here, all of us from very different backgrounds, just as you guys that are on the chat and join us here today. And then also to mention my social impact project is on the implementation of mentoring the BAME community within the organization that I work for. So we're just implementing a mentoring program. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Shanaya Samtani. I'm 20 years old and I'm from Mumbai, India. I'm very passionate about travel, adventure, and deep communication and communicating with various individuals. I think my biggest takeaway from the youth leadership program would be how important it is to stay true to your core values and the importance of forming deeper connections with people. Just to mention my social impact project, it was titled Communicate with Impact, and it focuses on how to help young individuals like all of us better our communication skills for when we finally enter the workforce. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Faldano. I'm from a small country off the tip of South America. I'm 25 years old. I'm a student, a coach, a fitness coach, and also a teacher. My biggest takeaway from the YLP program was finding myself in the process and using the information that I garnered from the YLP to help teach or help evolve the way I present my knowledge to others. So one of my core values is to be an example to others, and yeah, always.
Hi there, I'm Connor Johnston. I'm 23 years old from Ireland. I'm a freelance filmmaker at the moment, and as a result, I'm very passionate about kind of creative works and collaboration and working with others. I'm also very interested in mental health, especially among young people, being one myself. And that ties into my social impact project, which revolves around a social media campaign, which I was calling Real Social Media. My biggest takeaways from the program have been getting to meet and interact with other young people from across the globe and kind of engage in discussion with them, as well as kind of deepening my own self-awareness and personal insights.
Hello, everyone. I'm Neeta Ramakrishnan. I was born and brought up in Bangalore, India. And I'm currently pursuing my undergraduate degree in business administration. So dance is my passion, and I've been learning classical dance for almost 15 years now. Coming to the YLP, my biggest takeaway would be to always believe in myself, to stay true to my core values, which are respect, honesty, and dedication, and to always, do the right thing no matter what. And mentioning my social impact project, it's titled as Project Akira, which means graceful strength, and it aims at removing the stigma around people belonging to the transgender community, and also empowering them to become self-reliant. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Henry Junior Kakoza from Uganda. I'm age 22. I'm a student of development studies. I apparently work with Dreams of the Tropical Youth Uganda, a non-government organization that, among other issues, works to empower women, children, and youths from marginalized communities. My passion is working to empower marginalized people in different societies within which we live. My social impact project was Waka Community Impact Tours, simply because I have passion for helping people in communities. So I looked at it as utilizing opportunities in tourism to help improve the lives of child-headed family-holds in Uganda. And my takeaway from the youth leadership program was that we can utilize the opportunities in authentic leadership to help organize and implement projects that can really impact societies sustainably. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sneha Ganesh. I'm 19 and I'm from Bangalore, India. I'm a first-year undergrad student pursuing my triple major in math, statistics, and computer science. Coming to my passions, I'm absolutely in love with anything to do with words. It could be writing, it could be speaking, but if it has something to do with words, I'm in love. And through the YLP, I think one of my biggest takeaways was to understand myself better, to understand that there was this leader in me who is waiting to be discovered. It helped me sharpen my goals and visions of what I wanted to do, both for myself and for the society, which is what also shaped my social impact project, which is titled The Wheel of Confidence, which is a public speaking peer mentoring program, use of speaking confidently and of just being able to help people. So yeah, that's just about me, and I've absolutely loved being a part of this program and interacting with all these amazing leaders.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nathanael. I am based in Ethiopia. I am currently engaged in the legal profession. Regarding my passions, I am very passionate about doing community service and helping others. As a result, I'm a member of many youth groups in my country. And the biggest takeaway from YLP was it was a journey of self-discovery, and it helped me realize what my true values are, and it helped me form who I truly am and find my identity. And it has been an amazing experience, and something to treasure very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Aditya. I'm from India. before introducing myself, needless to say, I'm a proud graduate of Leah's YLP. I'm sure most of you know it, but it's just my small way of thanking Leah for giving me this opportunity today. I am passionate about sports. I love eating and I love animals. So that brings me to my social impact project, which is like a fusion of all these three ideas. So basically, my project deals with a diet which helps us to fight climate change and prevent animal cruelty.
Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you can all see that the YLP, or Youth Leadership Programme, has had quite an impact on the lives of these young people. And this is only half of the group because we couldn't get everyone all involved today, which is a shame. We should have a part 2 maybe. Okay, so the first question that we explored is basically, some of the young people here might have been hesitant at the very beginning about the benefits of the Youth Leadership Programme, but look at everyone now. They've done a full 360 from the beginning. They're here as panelists on a webinar, sitting here talking about coaching and leadership. So I'm wondering, to all the young people that are here today, what is it that brought you here today and motivated you to do the YLP, the Youth Leadership Programme, and that journey that you went through? So Nyati, if you could go first and answer that, that would be wonderful.
I think to answer it very truthfully, the reason I came here was just an excuse to be together and talk to each other again, because that's something I was really missing. But talking about doing a full 360, definitely, I think what I thought this program would be, it turned out to be something completely different. You know, when I thought about a leadership program in my head, I always thought it would be something like this study group with a mentor teaching you chapter wise, you know, like the do's and don'ts of being a leader and what it is and what qualities does a good leader need and everything. And it turned out to be so different, but it taught you the exact same things. It was just a very different platform. It wasn't like a teacher student sort of thing happening here. It was just like a conversation that all of us used to have once a week. And somewhere, which I'm still trying to figure out how, we just ended up learning everything just by talking about what was going on in our head. And I think that's just so important because it brought out such a different change in perspective, if I can say, at least for me. And I think that's something I didn't know that I needed. Before the program, I had been in leadership roles and I wasn't perfect. I did a lot of things wrong, which I didn't even realize till this program came along. And I was like, okay, you know, that's something you don't do. It's not something I knew I needed, or I even thought that, you know, I could change. But it's like, you may think that I react well in situations or my reactions are justified. But then you come to this program and you're told that you don't react to situations, you respond. That's not something you even know you need. But then it's something I don't think I or anybody here on the panel can convince anybody about, that this is going to benefit you in this way. It's just something you experience and then you look back and you think, what was I doing before this program? It's so different. And I think I just want to remove that stereotype that's embedded in a lot of people's head, that a leadership program or coaching is about teaching and it's about learning. It's not. It's just about having a conversation, and it's about just becoming better versions of yourself. And then whatever happens as a result of that happens. So I think that's what brought me here, knowing the positive impact it could have on people. And then it felt a little selfish to just keep it to yourself and not share. And that's why I'm here.
Fantastic words, Nyati. Thank you so much for such a deep insight as well. Aditya, you have your hand up.
So I guess most of us during the lockdown, right, we've received loads of forwards regarding different types of webinars, different types of online programs. And in one of these forwards, I received details of the YLP and I was like, no way, I'm not attending one more online program. And I'm sure most of us are so fed up of, you know, being on screen and interacting with people virtually. So naturally, that was my first reaction when I came across this program. And the transition which has happened, you know, since like the first thought which came to my mind about this leadership program, and now that I've done it, the opinion I have about it, it's it's like I've become a different person. So how is this program going to help? So that is the question I have. I think I'll answer that before I join the program. Like, this is what I had in my mind. If you ask me what is my takeaway from YLP, I won't be able to give you a definite answer, because I'm sure for different people, they learn different things. Before you start a program, you have certain, you could say, certain shortcomings in you, what are your weak points and your strong points. And at the end of the program, everyone graduates, but everyone has different takeaways. So you come across as, you enter as one person, you move out as another person, and there's nothing specific as to what this program is going to do to you. So it's going to change every person in a very unique way. And the best part about this is, number one, it's a global platform, so you get to interact with people of different cultures. Number two, here people are like everyone, I mean everyone. There's not one person with whom you'll be hesitant to share something or just have an open conversation. The atmosphere which is created is like, it encourages you to speak, get to know each other, and it's basically a wonderful thing. And I'd put it this way, like, unless you actually experience it, you are not going to just understand it by someone having to describe it to you. You need to be a part of the program, and then you'll understand what I'm trying to say. And lastly, as to why I'm here, fun fact, my paternal uncle, he got engaged about 20 minutes back. Like, I just attended the ceremony, you can make out from my attire. The reason I'm here is, even though there's a function in the family, I feel there should be more people who can take advantage of what I've received. Like, I was very lucky to come across this program, and I feel more and more people should be fortunate enough to get Leah's guidance. So yeah, that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Aditya. I don't need to say anything more. Thank you so, so much. And I'm really happy to hear that this has benefited you and the others so much. And I think Nitra had her hand up. If you could go next. Thank you.
Yes, so initially I was a bit skeptical about joining the program, because I thought, it might just be like any other leadership training that I've had in school, and would it really help me build my confidence? And I wasn't too sure. But I'm so lucky to have actually joined it, because the program itself and Leah, our facilitator, you've really helped me come out of my comfort zone and become more confident and self-aware. And during our live sessions, we were like put into so many different interesting situations, and that really transformed my thinking and like changed my perspectives about so many things. And a few months ago, like when I look back, I don't think I would have ever imagined myself being here as a panelist on a live webinar in front of people from all over the world. But here I am, and I have the YLP to thank for that. Also, another reason that what kept me going was, I think, the idea of being able to connect with people from across the globe. As Niyati and Aditya also said, every live session we would meet and we would talk about so many different things. And though we have such vast, varied cultures and different upbringings, I also realized that we're so different and so similar at the same time. And I think this connection and this learning learning together as a group is what kept me going and motivated me to continue the YLP. And I'm just really, really, really grateful to have been a part of it.
Thank you so much. And I'm wondering, because we're obviously seeing quite a few insights here. So I'm wondering what it was about the Youth Leadership Programme method specifically that we used at Coacharya that benefited you. So Nathaniel, if you could answer that, thank you.
Thank you very much, Leah. I think before we answer this question, we should say something about the method. So there were group discussions and home tech assignments. Well, not assignments per se, but something to reflect upon. And how this method benefited me is basically what the others were saying before. This is something that you have to experience. I mean, there are some things that we already knew before coming in, like, for example, values are important. Yes, of course, values are important. Everybody knows this. However, this method of reflecting on, what your values are, and this whole journey benefited me a lot, because as most of, I would say, my generation's peeps, I wasn't sure about what I wanted to do with my life, what my purpose was. And I think humans in general are designed to seek meaning in their lives. But this journey helped me, especially the reflection part, helped me delve deep into what my core values are, what I want to do with my life, and it also helped me discover my passions and what I wanted to work on. And it was a truly transformational experience. I cannot emphasize this enough. I can't put it into words to state how important YLP was. I mean, to be fair, it was one of the highlights, if not the highlight of 2020, which was a very difficult year for all of us. Yeah, so basically that is how YLP benefited me. Thank you very much.
Nathaniel, thank you so much. And actually, when you said it was one of the highlights of 2020, not only did I nearly get emotional, but everybody was nodding. So what the attendees can't see is on the panel, everyone was nodding at that point. So it seems like it's been quite a highlight. It was for me as well, of course. And we have Sneha.
Yes. So honestly, before I start, I must just say that my thoughts are so in alignment with what everybody else here has been saying. And honestly, the YLP has been I could say it has been the best thing that happened to me in 2020. So talking about the method that we used at the YLP, I think one of the most important things about it was that there was this community that we could interact with. And all of us here coming from across the globe, coming with different backgrounds, coming with different ways we think, ways we eat, ways we feel, and a lot of things which are very different. And yet when we came together, there was this beautiful synchrony that just came about. It hardly took us any time to mingle. Day one, we came in not knowing anybody, and it never felt like that for a second after that. All of us just easily got to know each other. And many times people say that it probably is going to take you about a week, 2 weeks, a month to get to know people, but we never found that kind of a gap here. It was an instantaneous connection, and that connection stayed on for a lot more than the 12 weeks that we were together, and I'm sure it's going to stay on for much, much more. And talking about the way it actually happens. So when we're having a group of people, a peer group like this, there have been a lot of, I would say, not really assignments, but a lot of activities which involved the group, which involved how we could peer coach each other, I would say. And we had these group coaching kind of sessions. So people always assume that coaching is like a one-on-one process where you have a coach and a coachee. But it was never really like that for us. It was the entire group sharing their points of view, sharing what they had in mind. And it kind of just busted the entire myth about how, coaching just has to be one experienced person and one person trying to learn. It was all of us coming with our own set of values, our own experiences, and trying to share that with the others while simultaneously learning from the others as well. It's been a deeply reflective process, I would say, but it's been beautiful because it's helped us get to know so much about ourselves, which we probably didn't know before, or probably just didn't try to get to know. And that's why I'm like so for the way the entire program has been structured with the assignments, with the reflection, with the interactions with people, with the small group coaching sessions, the breakout rooms, and all of it put together was like the perfect package, I could say.
Thank you, Sneha. And if anyone's watching this now and thinking of going into youth coaching, working with young people, or helping young people to learn leadership skills, hopefully this has given you a lot of insights. And I'm sure the rest of the questions, when you get the answers, will as well. Connor, you have your hand up, you're next.
Hi. Yeah, I mean, I had no idea what to expect from this program kind of coming into it. I think everyone does sort of have their own preconceived ideas of what coaching is, and a lot of that I think tends to be one-on-one sort of environments. And I mean, they definitely have their benefits, but I think for this course, it just felt so beneficial to kind of be working in a group. And I mean, Leah, I'm not just saying this because she's here, but she was such a great facilitator for like all the discussions we were having. And I mean, everyone who's been speaking already has mentioned how it just felt like conversations where we somehow learnt everything along the way. And I mean, I completely agree with that. It just feels so true about the whole program. And I mean, we did have as well, I think Nathaniel mentioned that we did have kind of weekly assignments to do as well. So it wasn't all just conversation. We had these kind of exercises in which we'd kind of reflect and explore on the concepts that we had discussed. And I found them incredible and really beneficial because they just helped to kind of inspire thought and help to direct your own sort of personal reflection and growth and development after each session.
Thank you, Connor. So if that hasn't convinced you, if you're a young person or the parent of a young person or know of a young person who would like to go on the next programme, nothing well now. Actually, the next programme starts on the 11th of March and we do have some spaces left. So if you do know of anyone 18 to 25, can go a little bit over 25 as well, who would like to be part of this, then do email me or go on to coacharya.com/youth for more information. And our next question, what are the opportunities and potential of coaching in changing young lives? So we're going to get a lot more general now, not just about the youth leadership programme, but what is the potential of coaching in changing young lives? So I think the first person here is Shania.
Yes, thank you, Leah. So, you know, the world we're living in today, the opportunities out there for young individuals is never ending. There are so many opportunities for us out there. And you know what coaching does is it helps us discover our potential. It helps us discover our strengths. It helps us discover these opportunities out there that we, never even knew existed. And what I personally truly love about coaching is the fact that it doesn't just hand you the direct answer or the direct solution on a platter, but it actually helps you dive in deeper and figure out the answer for yourself. And for me personally, I honestly think, and I think for a lot of people, after every coaching session, you will find out like some fact or some trait about yourself that you never knew you had within you ever. I feel like after every session of the YLP, there was always something I was discovering about myself, which would make me go, hey, I never knew I actually had that within me. I never knew I could actually think this way or act this way. And with a coach like Leah, someone who's, as everyone has already mentioned, someone who's so encouraging, so motivating, really drives you to be the best version of yourself. I mean, which young individual cannot use that? This is the age where, we need that encouragement. We need that time for self-reflection. And I honestly think coaching at a young age and at a time in our lives, as it is now, is honestly one of the, it's a great opportunity. And I honestly think if any young individual out there has the chance to sign up for a coaching program, I think you definitely should, because honestly, this has just been an experience. I don't even think I can put it into words. It's just been so incredible. Gotten the chance to meet so many lovely people. Leah, of course, one of the highlights of the program. But yes, it's just been such an incredible experience. And definitely, I think it just helps in changing young lives for the better always.
Thank you, Shania. I'm going red. I'm just going to introduce the next person. I promise I didn't ask anyone to sell this, by the way. And the next person we have is Isaac.
Thank you, Leah. So in regards to this question, I think the first thing to recognize is that everyone has sort of a passion. So there's always a seed within someone that needs to be cultivated. And I think coaching really does that, in the sense that some people don't necessarily realize what exactly they're passionate about until you start asking various questions about what they really like and dislike, and actually being able to see that. I'm very much a person that from a very young age is someone that likes to explore many different opportunities. And I think that's great for young people to do. But as they start to grow within themselves, coaching really allows them to explore what it is that really makes them tick. In a world where so much social media is around, and there's so much great benefits of social media, but there's also many bits where people often compare themselves, and young people can have a real problem with often doing that, comparing themselves to one another. But if they're able to be coached and look at what it is that they have as positives, and then also be able to recognize that in others as well, and really be able to celebrate the differences that they have between each other, then they're really able to become a leader of the future. Now, again, talking about passion, many young people have a passion where they might have a great idea, but might need a bit of help or direction of how that can be done for them. As Shania mentioned about not being given everything on a platter, that's something that coaching does, is a sense of direction, helping someone along the journey that they're already on. As well, the other thing with being able to celebrate each other's differences, I think self-leadership is a massive one as well. Coaching as well really encourages young people and all those alike to be able to look at themselves as a leader, how they can be more emotionally intelligent and really cultivate what it is within them to be able to benefit society. Once people find their passion and values, core values, some other things that other people have mentioned already before, then they're really able to bring what they can to the table and to the world and benefit it in a more appropriate way. Thank you.
Really good insight, Isaac. Thank you so much. And our next speaker is Connor again.
Hi. I think kind of what's so brilliant about coaching is the kind of tool set that it gives you. You get this kind of new, unique kind of insight and awareness into yourself and this new context for how to handle and discuss your emotions and different thought processes that are going on. And I mean, I kind of mentioned a bit briefly how I've gotten such a great insight into my own self through doing this program, but also into kind of different coaching and leadership ideas. And I think it's the type of practice that if you really give yourself over to it, you get so much out of it. And those skills just become even deeper and even greater. There's kind of no limit to where they can kind of keep evolving to. And those skills and insights don't just stick with you during the actual process itself. Like they're things you kind of build up for life and take with you. And I think, you know, those skills are not only important for just young people, they're important for anyone. So I think if you can pick them up when you're younger, that's fantastic. It's amazing, you know. I think kind of I've seen so many people my age, myself included, who can just, it's so easy to get stuck in life. I mean, I'm a recent college graduate and I was definitely getting stuck, not knowing what to do, especially entering into kind of unprecedented times globally. And I mean, that's kind of what led me to taking a chance on this course, and I'm so glad I did.
Thank you, Connor. I think that's really interesting though, what you said about, wouldn't it be amazing if people learnt these skills when they were younger? And actually that kind of leads me into the next question, because coaching helps people to develop personally and professionally to be like a better version of themselves. So why do we need to be kind of helping young people to understand coaching when we have an entire fully fledged education system that's meant to be preparing young people for adulthood, for moving into jobs? It's meant to prepare young people to grow personally, to be able to be professional and work. And I'm not too sure that seems to be happening. So what I'd love to know from you is, why do you think it's necessary for us to have coaching, you know, existing for young people in this world where we have a whole education system that's actually built for the same purpose? So Valdano, if you could answer that, that would be amazing.
Our educational system through the years has been like guiding the masses towards a goal, not and leaving them there. The thing that coaching does, it helps you through your day. It helps you to find your strengths, your weaknesses, and evolve on them. My job as a fitness, I'm gonna bring it back to sports because mostly sports. I'm a sports coach and I'm a teacher, also a teacher. And one thing I've noticed working with athletes one-on-one or coaching them, you see what the weaknesses are. You help them find their strengths. You help them evolve. You help them, make it better. But our educational system is mostly focused on the linear path, like going forward and drawing off. It doesn't mean that, that's it. How should I say it? I'm sorry, a little nervous here. I leave the question and answer it at the end of seconds. Sorry.
No worries, Valdano, you've actually got the connections a little bit poor as well. So for now, if I move on and then we can come back to you, if that's okay. Niati, why do you think the coaching is necessary in this world where we have an education system that's meant to fill that role?
I think I agree with what Valdano said. And having been a part of only the Indian education system, I think I can say more for that than for any other education system. But definitely something is missing because our education systems are designed to help develop ourselves and help us succeed in whatever career we choose. But, it's supposed to be helping us to stand out in a competitive environment, but all it does is it makes us more competitive, if I can say that, because it adds that pressure of scoring the highest grades or say being in the top 10% of your class. And sure, knowledge is very important. Your technical skills are very important, but after a point in time, I think all of this leads to a mindset which says that success in life is determined by how successful you are in your career, but that's not true. Your success in life first is determined by the kind of person that you are, and then anything else that follows. And, we speak in this program, we speak so much about what a good leader is about. A good leader is not someone who has all the knowledge or someone who makes the correct decisions. It's someone who recognizes that they don't have the knowledge and uses help for that. It's someone who recognizes that they make some wrong decisions, but then own up to it and acknowledge that, right? We speak about empathy. If someone comes to me and tells me, I had a bad day today, and I say, you know what? I know what you mean. I had a terrible day. No, I don't know what they mean. I've not been in their shoes. When someone comes and tells you, I've had a bad day, you don't say, yeah, same. You say, really, what happened? Do you want to talk about it? I'm here to listen. If someone comes to you with a problem that you don't know about, you don't try to give them a made up, unsure solution. You just tell them that, I'm sorry you're going through this. I can't imagine what you're going through, but I'm glad that you thought you could come to me about it. And that's something we don't learn in our education systems. Our education systems are so curriculum based. They definitely teach us practical knowledge. They teach us linguistic intelligence. They teach us logical intelligence, but they don't teach us emotional intelligence. They don't teach us to understand ourselves. They don't teach us to understand our feelings and be self-aware. And I think that's why coaching is so important, because that's what bridges the gap between being almost at the top and being at the top in life and not in your career.
Really well said. They don't teach us. You just kept repeating that. They don't teach us emotional intelligence. They don't teach us these things. Thank you so much, Niati. And Amia, you're next.
Yeah, so hi everyone. What Niyati and Valdano just said kind of summarize what my thoughts are as well, and I think they put it really well. And simply put, coaching does something our education systems do not. And so what I realized during this journey of YLP, that the coaching during YLP was like a guided path of introspection where the focus is learning about yourself. And this is primarily not really the focus of education per se. you're learning things while you're in school, but it's not necessarily about yourself. So coaching provides that individual attention where you can, once you know your interests or you're discovering your interests, you can figure out what it is that suits also your values, also your beliefs, also your skill set, and where it is that you want to go. So that's why I think coaching is extremely different from education and also extremely relevant and important.
So we need coaching. We need coaching available for all young people. And when I say we need coaching available for all young people, that kind of makes me think about the next question, because, you know, there are divides. There's the divide of people who can access coaching. There is a digital divide for people who can't access coaching in communities that might be rural. There's all kinds of division. Coaching is not always available for young people who might be living in poverty or in other situations. So my next question is, why do you think it's necessary for coaching to exist in a world? Oh, sorry, I'm doubling up on the old question. That's not good. It was very similar, that's why. How can we make coaching and leadership training sessions accessible to all young people in marginalized communities? And Henry, I'd love you to answer this, because you do work with young people in a marginalized community, and also why you think it's important for coaching leadership skills to be available in these communities.
Thank you very much, Leah, for this opportunity once again. I'm Henry, like I said, and I work in communities. Personally, because I registered for the youth leadership program earlier on, but I took 2 weeks to enroll, like to start serious sessions. Reasons that I'm from a marginalized community, I would say, because I'm not from a well-to-do family, though I'm passionate about working with people. But after some time, Leah was sending me messages again and again. When are you attending? Please tell us, this is the last time we're allowing you. If you miss this session, you won't be accepted. So I was like, let me try out. But for the first time I attended, it was interesting, and I looked forward to attending the further sessions that were going on. Coaching is desirable in marginalized communities. Like looking at Uganda, my sister Niati was saying, education is curriculum based. Personally, I was the head prefect. But when you look at where I came from and being the head prefect and the kind of a leader I was, if I'd gotten this opportunity, maybe from the lower stages of primary, I would have been better if I had understood thyself, understood that there are steps like in the hero's journey where you go back and then you go forth, where you go back and you go forth. If I had understood things like that, and if I had understood and maybe put in place core values that I need to be a better person. For us, we are ambiguous leaders. We are leaders who don't have direction. What we think right is what we think is supposed to be done is what is supposed to be done. We don't follow any kind of system. So when you look at these schools, because I think coaching is really indispensable and it is desirable for these communities. Personally, if they can put in place measures that can help empower these children from marginalized communities, these children that need this leadership, at least if they can't afford a job in a particular company, they can at least be people that are presentable in society, people that understand that humanity is humanity, respect humanity, and be better for the best of other people. So if there are programs to do with, like she has said, that there is that digital divide, because personally, I'll be frank with you, Coacharya funded my data to participate in this program. I wouldn't afford data because data was worth 150,000 plus for the entire sessions. So they found if it wasn't for that, because I other problems that I'm supposed to take care of, and yet I can't take care of them properly. If they had not helped me, I wouldn't have achieved this that I've achieved. People don't have access to these devices. Data in Uganda is too expensive. So if something can be done around that in marginalized schools, and maybe there are webinars like this that are organized and the teachers are trained and pupils are trained to be mentors of mentors, and they organize peer-to-peer sessions where they have a facilitator, I think it can be very helpful. If they can organize accessible coaching publications for schools, maybe put up books, and they can be accessible by these students. Because I think when you're a leader, you're supposed to motivate, you're supposed to inspire. A leader is one who influences. You understand? So if people in marginalized communities who are supposed to empower themselves, be better people for themselves and for the country, can't influence the actions of other people, if they can't help other people deliver, then I don't think that whatever that is being done is right. Because apparently in Uganda, I think we need more. We need this program more in Uganda, maybe in more than any other country that is outside there. Because you can look at a population where the unemployment rate is really high, and then the crime rate is going high. But if people had understood themselves, they had discovered themselves and see what they can do and do something about it, and they understand that they're supposed to be better for the betterment of society, I think it would have been better. So you can't divide coaching and from marginalized communities. They have to. They're supposed to be. They're supposed to be like binded together, because they are really desirable. The lessons we have. I studied science in primary. I studied physics in O level. I studied history at A level. At campus, I'm doing a couple of courses. In the organization, you bring these courses and you incorporate them into this. But if you don't have the skills of leadership, I think that you cannot be a better person for tomorrow. Still, because with Coacharya, they provide a package. Like, personally, I'm not good with, I can speak, but I'm not good with public speakings. But through the different sessions, because it is hard to speak when the people that you're talking to can't react. Yeah? It's hard to speak and you continue speaking. So somehow it disturbs. But as sessions went on, and I sometimes I got that experience, it helps out. So I think that we should engage pupils and secondary students plus other community members into these projects, because they're really desirable in their day-to-day life and their social lives, in partnerships with maybe companies and everything. Because if they're not trained, everything.
Henry, you've gone onto mute. Henry, I'm going to just ask, because I've got quite a few hands up here and I would love to get some more input, but thank you so much for sharing your personal experience. And that's really good for everyone to hear as well, because you do live in a marginalized community. And this wasn't easy at the beginning for you to connect and get involved. And it's how can you out there, the people watching this, the coaches, how can you help your work and get your skills to young people that are living in marginalized communities? I know myself, I do different models of being able to do that. I volunteer in different countries in Africa and elsewhere, and train the trainers and do like a peer coaching ripple effect within the communities on a systemic approach. But that's a whole other webinar. So I'm going to move on to the next person, who is Nitra.
Yes, thank you, Leah. As we've spoken enough in this webinar about the importance of of coaching and how important it is for it to be available to young adults. And when I speak about marginalized communities, firstly, there's so much of social stigma around them, and there's so much discrimination, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, from where you come from, your caste, color, creed, nothing. It doesn't matter at all. What matters is that you're human. And I think that every person should be given an opportunity to, allow themselves to grow and, to like realize your own potential. And I feel that this is why, coaching has to be accessible to people belonging to marginalized communities. It's really essential. And to make that happen, I feel that social organizations and NGOs around the world, they need to incorporate coaching in their development of their various programs that they organize. And even organizations like Coacharya, like they can train individuals belonging to many of these NGOs, because only when there's an availability of coaches and trainers can you impart that knowledge to others. So it's very important for young people who have the access to coaching like easily. They should undergo this training and and also impart it to others who can't afford it. And I feel even the student community, and I'm also a part of it, I feel by volunteering and I feel like, yeah, by volunteering, I can make a huge impact, at least on someone's life. And that way, if we all come together, we can definitely, empower these individuals and, make them realize their true potential. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nitra. I love these different insights that we're getting as well, and different thoughts and perspectives. And Sneha, you're next, if that's okay.
Sure. So I'm going to draw my answer a little bit from the previous question, where we were talking about why it's extremely important to have coaching skills which are taught to children at a school level, at a much younger level. And I feel it's the way all of us are taught, I would say, first aid skills. So all of us need to know first aid so we can make sure that we are physically healthy, and so are the other people around us. And I would say coaching imparts those skills which are absolutely necessary to you to help you stay emotionally healthy, and also help others around you stay emotionally healthy. And just as important as it is for you to take care of your health and be sure that you have done all that you can do to be healthy, coaching takes the exact same place in my mind. So if you've heard from all of us over here, we've been telling you about the approach that we've used at Coacharya and how it's been extremely systematic, and how it's taken us through this entire journey of self-reflection, slowly, part by part, and it's helped us become better versions of ourselves. And I personally believe that there is this leader in almost every young person out there, a leader who's just waiting to be discovered. And many a time, the person just doesn't know. And it's these tiny little nudges that coaching can give the person that helps them identify this leader inside them. So, I would just say we've done so much. And through this process, we've learned so much about each other and about ourselves. It's helped us become much better young people than we were before we did the entire coaching process. So if it's helped us so much, why should it not help anybody else? Everybody out there has so much that they want to do and probably is just not able to do. And when coaching can play such a huge part in people's life, why shouldn't these skills be imparted to, as I said, we group coaching sessions. So these skills can be imparted to people in a way that they can actually train each other. It may not even be somebody who has to be a trained coach who's to come and teach people. It could be just a peer coach or a mentor who is able to impart these skills to people around them. So this is what I'm trying to say, and why it's extremely important for one to be able to understand the importance of coaching, accept the importance, and then move on to make sure it's provided to everybody without any barriers in economic, financial, social, or any of these conditions, because at the end, it helps you become a better version of yourself, and everybody should become better versions of themselves. Why shouldn't they?
Thank you, Sneha. Why shouldn't they? I like that ending. Why shouldn't they? And my final question is, how has this youth leadership program helped you to explore your personal leadership philosophy and values, and to find out what your own philosophy and values are as well, and how you're using them? Now, I know, Isaac, are you okay to answer this? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Leah. So for myself, it's really been a journey that the YLP's taken me on, starting with some exploration questions, looking at what it is that makes me tick, and then looking at my personality, what my makeup is, and then look at how that matches up with the strengths and core values and really what I find my purpose to be. And really a lot of things that came out from that were that I like to encourage people, which really fits in with the mentoring program that I mentioned with my social impact project, and also with work ethic and also seeing growth, both in myself and others. And I'm sure everyone else in here would definitely testify to the fact that they have grown since doing the YLP program. It was about 3 months long, 12 weeks exactly. And we really did grow within that time. As well for myself, the philosophies that really came out from that were that I was being a servant leader. Again, I had some feedback from some other people in the organization that I work for, just to see what my strengths are. And a lot of the things that came out from that were being helpful, which really fits in with that philosophy, as well as being democratic and in my emotional intelligence really fitting in and ensuring that other people, as well as the team that I'm, say, working for, I'm really serving for them, is what can I do for them rather than what can I do for myself. So in essence, the YLP has really helped me to develop and see where my career can go in terms of ensuring all the roles that I do going forward, the plan that I put out, really do fit in with the plans and philosophies in which I've explained just now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Isaac. That's really interesting, actually. And Amia, you have something to add to that?
Yeah, so for me, YLP, the experiences that I was having while YLP was going on and before it, YLP really put it into context for me in terms of what my values were, why I was feeling certain kinds of frustrations, and the leadership philosophy that resonates with me the most. And what stood out for me was ethical leadership and the importance of it, and also not compromising on certain values that I hold dear. And in terms of how I'm implementing that myself, I'm doing my own social impact project. And I decided from the onset, and I'm trying to maintain it, that I won't compromise on certain values that I hold dear to me, which are transparency, inclusivity, and there was one more. But yeah, basically transparency and inclusivity. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Amia. And Nathaniel, your last but not least. Now, I must say, we may go over like 60 seconds, 2 minutes at the most, so please bear with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Well, I don't know how many of you remember, but we are still going through a pandemic that actually forced us to stay home for quite a while. And during that time, I had most time to myself in my room, thinking about other stuff. And then when YLP came along, it was like a segue into discovering who I am and what my passions are and everything. So how has YLP helped me? The first thing is it opened my eyes to the various cultures, and it showed me how beautiful our world really is and how diverse it is, and how I have to take that into consideration whenever I'm working with someone. And the second and most important thing is, if you were to go to ask, if you were to go to anyone and ask them what they had to do to make their lives better, I mean, they would tell you what they have to do and probably how they should do it. However, most people struggle with the why, including myself. That was the biggest thing that I used to struggle with, because knowing what to do to advance in my career, it's simple. People tell you to work hard or dedicate more time, study, educate yourself. Yeah, I mean, I know all that, but at the end of the day, why should I do that? And that is the most important question that we have to begin with before we start doing anything. So how YLP helped me develop my leadership philosophy is going through this very question as to why I should do, finding my reason for doing things and finding my reason for, basically existing, so to say. The one important thing that YLP helped me with was it helped me be in the driver's seat of my life as opposed to the passenger seat. Most of the time I used to sit in my room and wonder about things, but it's just wondering and being reactive. But after YLP, I actually got the tools to sit down and plan out my life, find out what my values are and how I can be a better leader. It helped me discover that I am actually a good conflict solver, and I'm a good listener, and I'm good at analyzing people and putting them in the positions where they can excel. And all this was due to YLP and especially Leah. So thank you very much for this opportunity. It was truly a highlight, and thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Wow, what an ending. What a lovely few words to end this session on. So we have gone over time. Thank you so much for having the patience to stay and listen to our absolutely inspiring young leaders. And I think you can all agree with me. They're definitely leaders, huh? Everyone here is just absolutely fantastic, and it's been a big journey. I know a lot of you have asked about the method and how the Youth Leadership Programme ran and how it went. That could be another webinar, but the first half was very much on the personal journey, getting to know yourself first, and then the second half on the leadership and actually leading and helping others and making a social impact. For more details, I've put the information in the chat, but visit coacharya.com/youth. And thank you so much to all of our panelists for just being amazing and doing this webinar. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.